please.
Thanks. Thank you, everyone. So we are here to talk about a little bit back market, the marketing, and how it helps the company grows through after 4 years now. But I wanted to start also by thank you guys, as with this weird title, you have to be probably curious or really exciting people, as it wasn't pretty clear even to me when we were discussing with Vlad at the beginning. The idea was, actually, it's pretty difficult to define marketing, how it can help a company, how it wasn't such interesting to talk about specifically on back market. It won't give you any tips, I think. So the combination of the two, and as we can put pretty much everything under marketing, communication, social media, SEO, and so many vocabulary, I tried to think about it, and I took a step back, and basically we are running through a rebranding right now, and during these particular phases, you always get back to the fundamentals, the basics, answering, or at least trying to answer who you really are, questions like that. And it's so difficult, and it's especially for us, as we didn't really think about it up to now, but basically because we didn't need it. The same way I was preparing another conference with a big insurance company, CMO, and she was dealing with her strategy, starting with answering the question, who are my clients, who are my personas? We don't have any personas yet at back market, and he didn't hurt us or disturb us by making and achieving the growth we are at and the point we are at. So basically I told myself, okay, maybe we didn't do it the classic way or the traditional way, and enlightening the strategy and the path we went through, maybe and hopefully it will give you at least some tips to start or help you grow your company. Again, we are in this phase, and we had so many canvas, you meeting agency in this rebranding phase, and they all have patterns, canvas that they are using, and the one asking you what I'm fighting against, what was for what am I fighting for? What are the tools I have? What is my battle cry? So many questions we didn't ask ourselves. It's nice. They try to sell you things, and those are important questions. But for us, it wasn't important, or at least the beginning of building a strategy. It didn't help us at all, even if finally, for now, after 4 years, we ended up with some missions, values, and so on. But it didn't help us build the strategy and the tactics to actually create growth. We also, as I mentioned at the beginning, to give you the big picture, you also questioned who are your clients, what are your personas, almost like a shrink sessions. Really, when those agencies, those people asked us those questions, we were like, we don't have any, for now at least. We're just creating growth and selling our products everywhere. After testing, everywhere it's valuable. So, as I was mentioning, this is pretty much the traditional way, the one you will find in class, in your books, at school, or if you're discussing with not old school companies, but why it's so the classic strategies, you define your potential clients, the classical social demo thing, how much they earn, what are their interests, what are they looking for, why, where, and then you try to capture their behavior and create the message. But in order to do that, you have to get some historical, you have to, in order to get all those clients' data and stuff, and it takes so many money, so many times before getting into actions. And this picture, it's not that bad because old school rap is cool, but it's still for me an old school way of think, or at least at the beginning of your startup of your project. Why? Because when we began at Back Market, we didn't have any money. We just wanted to get the proof of concept of the business model, and we wanted to get it in like not days but weeks. So we have to be fast. And by starting with your clients, your supposed audience or whatever, you don't create space to surprise. And what we learn from the beginning is by testing, retesting, recreating. I don't know what I don't know. We had some surprises that are now our best channels or leverages. So we followed, we followed a pretty much bottom-up strategy that I will define right after. But basically, what we were for almost the 2 first years is we were basically just a marketplace selling refurbished products, and we just knew who we weren't. We just didn't want to be on the political side, the José Bové on the left mentioned. We didn't want to support any political messages or strategies or positioning, and we didn't want to be also really tough or really direct in the way we were making jokes or we were talking to people, at least on a slightly different tone of voice. We were just knowing that, but basically he didn't hurt us. We had the growth, not we were following or expecting, but after a few months we get our first raise, and after your first raise you get some objectives by the VC, by the funds, whoever. So you start to do reporting and implement objectives, KPIs and stuff. But basically for the first 2 years, he didn't, and even up to now, he didn't hurt us to not to know who we were. I also, here I presented some numbers regarding the traffic of the sessions, and so really marketing driven, starting by all the intentionists to the mass media interiors, and we'll go through that right after. And some of key milestones we went through regarding also other sides of the company, such as employees or GMV, which is the volume going through the platform. But basically what we did in Back Market, we had basically 1,000 euros to start in March 2015. When we get our first load of money, which were 30,000 euros, so it wasn't much. and with this low amount of money, you have to be creative, and that's what, or at least test. And obviously, we test AdWords, we test Facebook, we test Instagram, we test pretty much a lot of logic and tactics on those platforms, as we are looking only a reaction, a proof of concept. What happens if we spend €1? Fortunately or not, we had the reaction, and as we find something that seems to work, we put emphasis on it, and we open, and then one after another. Actually, we got up through the classical funnel. I'm a little bit contradicting myself as I'm breaking a convention and presenting you another one, but it's pretty much mainly the idea, always depending on your capabilities, money capabilities, resources, also in terms of people to deploy all those tactics and strategy. Sometimes, as I was mentioning, it takes more than a day, or more than weeks, more than €1,000, and more than one people. But basically, we started so with AdWords. The hereafter, we structured the social media environment. The hereafter, we went with our first TV spots, and same logic this year. Or at least I'm still in 2018. Last year, we had and tested the radio, and now this year we're always adding another level and another brick to the strategy, but step by step, and always tasting and testing again. We'll try to the out of home, so basically the subway and stuff. So test, analyze, and always learn, because we never know, and by the time goes by, you have more time to test bigger projects and stuff. But at the beginning, really, we didn't even think about what seems to us tiny things. I also presented the tool stack. There always a thinking about in marketing, we have so many tools, so many platforms, so many numbers and stuff. Basically, it's pretty much everything we use now. At the beginning, we only had maybe one or two, AdWords and GA. But again, the solution doesn't come with the tools. It comes with an idea materialized thanks to a platform's tools are only here to help deploy an idea or a test. I prefer test more than ideas. All that saying, for sure we don't have the same message, or it's not that we are not paying attention to it. It's more that we are focusing on addressing the message on the universe, the platform. What we found basically was that, for example, on Facebook, it's not a question of that you are talking to 15 or 20 teenage in Paris, different than 35 women in Marseille. Basically, we found out that on Facebook, basically, people not depending on their age or whatever, they are looking for something, either entertainment, lol, news for some people. And by testing, again, we found out that a pretty straight, generic lol message was working on all those kind of populations. The same way, no difference of gender, no difference of age, no difference of geography, and so on. So it's presented you some examples. Sorry, it's French. A lot of our jokes are still in French, but the same way on Instagram. It's basically a universe that you can address with some love, but it's a little bit of a tiny touch of love to some insight on that. For example, on to like something on Instagram, it's a heart. Either on Facebook, it's more a positive approval thing, or you make me laugh. Yeah, there is also the smiley with the heart in the eyes, but it's the less used emoticon on Facebook. So actually, people are not expecting the same thing depending on the universe, and we just address what we think the right tone in the right universe. The same way on the websites. It doesn't mean that the website as a universe is not a place where we have to be 100% serious. There are some spaces, especially upper in the funnel of the website, the home page, the landing pages, the product page. It starts to be too close at the payment, but you can be funny. You can be funny, lol, give love, whatever you want to do in those universe. But the closest you get to the payment, you have to be trustable, serious, give reassurance to people. So you have to basically adjust and address the level of lol, ROI, whatever, depending on the universe, not the people. We didn't find any difference in terms of behavior on the website, depending on gender, age, region, actually on our website. So I end up with two quite simple principles, at least humble. At the beginning, so don't be afraid if you don't know who you are, as long as you know what is your difference, what was your purpose, your values, different from your competitors, and don't necessarily define persona or try to think always to who I'm talking to, but adapt or test to find the right message in the right universe, which is best for you. I have a surprise or not? No surprise. Thank you.